Very warm welcome to all the participants of our webinar. Well, this is the second in a row, follow-up to the previous one where we started to talk about Power Platform, and well, our goal is to provide information for better adoption of the automations possible with Microsoft technologies. And, I guess we will wait a little bit for more participants to join. I can see that we have already 24 watching us. Okay, maybe one more minute and we could be starting. Okay, so once again, very warm welcome to Invoice Matching Automation with Microsoft Power Platform and Dynamics 365. We would like to talk about the technology and help companies with better adoption of the automation possibilities. Today's webinar is second in a row. We started on last one to talk about Power Platform and what it is in Microsoft ecosystem. And today we will continue with well, very practical example of how the Power Platform technology could be used together with Microsoft Dynamics. And we have prepared a few examples of invoice matching automation. So let's have a look at agenda for today. We will talk, showing you the technology that lets you build business applications without writing code. Marcin, who is with us, Marcin Oszyński, is our technology guru for Power Platform, will talk about the Power Platform, how it is used, how it works with Dynamics 365 and the whole Microsoft ecosystem. And then we will have a demo of Power Apps Invoice Mailroom application. All the workflow goes to Dynamics 365, where our consultant for the Dynamics ERP platform, Marek, will show you the invoice matching and posting process. And we'll end up with an idea that we want to share with you. This is a special offer for the participants of the webinar. At the end, we plan some short Q&A session, so if you have any questions, please write them down. You can send them in the stream. Okay, so Marcin, welcome to the show, and please tell us more about Microsoft Power Platform.
Thank you, Kamil. Thank you all. Thank you so much for joining us for today's webinar. As always, we hope you will find this useful and interesting. Quick summary. In previous webinar, we discussed what is the Power Platform and how it's useful in terms of API automation. Today we are going to expand and emphasize it on Dynamics 365 process. So first, a quick reminder, Power Platform, what it is. It is a low-code platform that provides comprehensive suite of tools to help and have business possibilities to automate processes, build applications, and analyze data. It spans all Microsoft 365 apps, Azure Cloud, as we are going to show you in terms of documents recognition, of course, Dynamic 365 and other standalone applications. So first thing to mention is that Power Platform has strict integration with Dynamics 365 and all Office 365 ecosystem, and it has over 800 connectors to third-party systems. Also, if we want to expand the Power Platform capabilities, we can do it through cooperation with Azure Cloud. As I mentioned today, I will show you a quick example, case of integration with Azure Cognitive Services and automatic document recognition and data capture. But today we expand our webinar because this topic we are going to show you what is happening in Dynamics after Power Automate passes all data from invoice, and that's why we have today Marek Gallert, our consultant and finance specialist, and he will show you such use case in finance module. So uh, very quickly, what's included in a Power Platform portfolio? First, of course, Power BI. It's a famous, world famous business analytics tool, and I think the best in the world. Second, Power Apps. I can tell it's like innovative way to create business applications. Um, because it is a low code and agile approach to develop applications, and also it is it helps you provide citizen-led development. What that means, Power Apps empower users that can quickly build applications without having to learn complex coding languages. Also, uh, I personally find it very encouraging to experiment a lot. So you can introduce in your company a lean approach of building business solutions. Uh, so you can be more agile. Um, Also, it is tightly integrated with Dynamics, so it can be interfaced to processes in Dynamics 365, which is our case today. So next, it is Power Automate. It is a powerful robotic process automation tool and workflow engine. Power Automate is the youngest RPA player, but we found that the market see this as very complete solution, and it is also very robust to build automation and all automate workflows that helps you not work as low labor. So I like to say that Power Platform is some kind like a wind. You can see this physically, but you can see the effects of its operations. Um, Next, it's worth to mention Power Virtual Agents this is intelligence chatbot. You can build interfaces from processes to users and vice versa. And stay tuned because we will be organizing webinars about time when ChatGPT will be fully integrated. It will be huge, I tell you. So it is worth to to observe our LinkedIn profile. Last one, it is Power Pages that are portals that are too easy share our data or get data from the outside. Okay, that's it from the perspective
Mhm.
of portfolio. So let's
Marcin, may I ask a question? Which of the
sure.
building blocks are used for the demonstration today?
Yeah, today, good question. Today we are going to use Azure Cognitive Services. Then we pass all this data to Power Apps. Power Automate will automate all workflows, and Power Automate also is responsible for passing all our validated data to Dynamics 365, and then we are going to show you our AP automation to 3A matching. Okay, so um, also, I want to mention about three huge benefits um, uh, that Power Platform and Dynamics 365 gives us. Give us first, it is very uh, large operation savings. Today's demo application allows you to reduce we observe about 80% of working time of manually data rewriting from invoices to interfaces. So it's a huge savings. Second one is elimination of human errors. This is extremely important when the errors are made in the processes by people, and also it can cost exceptionally a lot. It may cost exceptionally a lot, such as mistakes in the amounts of money transfers or lost expired paper documents, or sometimes other errors that can affect downtime in payments, or maybe in production. The third is higher processes performance. Thanks to the Power Platform, you can increase the productivity of your back office. For example, you can double your clerk's work performance. Person who is responsible to receive documents and posting them into the process in Dynamics 365, this clerk uh, can be granted by um, artificial artificial robotic hand uh, to double its business performance. So that's it. I think without further ado, we can go to summary of our today's demo, introducing our demo. So first stage, we are going to show you this OCR part, Azure Cognitive Services, or AI Builder, because frankly saying, this is practically the same. The first part of this automation is capturing metadata from documents. So we created this solution on Azure Cognitive Services, and this service will be the part of automatic recognition, metadata recognition. Then another part, this is the Power Apps technology, and behind this there is flows and automation made by Power Automate. It's a digital mailroom which fulfills two tasks. First, it is validation of quality of data recognized by cognitive services, and second one is example pre-acceptance pre-approval that we are going to show you how it works with Microsoft 365 ecosystem. And the final solution ends in Dynamics 365 in the invoice matching with PO and PR documents automation. And this will be the most important part of our webinar, and this is Marek's part. So, okay, let's dive into demo, our demo. Uh, like I said, this part is first to be to be to word mention, and this is applied AI, so artificial intelligence that is pre-trained, and this is a pre-built model. You don't have to do anything. You just have to point that this is invoices, and after you plug in into your solution, you will find that it analyze and recognize the documents in very automatic way. I clicked some sample here, and this is in Spanish. Of course, we will today showing our examples in English, but as you can see, there are a few other examples in German, in French, but I'd like to show you this example in Spanish. So after I will zoom it, let's see what happens here. After hovering my mouse, I can see that our AI recognized that is invoice ID metadata. So this is key called invoice ID. Then there is content recognized very strictly, and this is good confidence score, like you see, 98.50%. After that, we can see there is a key customer ID, and content has low confidence score. So that's why we have mechanism after that to check if all this data are really veiled, and we are good to send it to approval and posting in Dynamics. So all process starts in email inbox. So I will open my email inbox. Let's create new email. Email, Power Platform DEV. Let's create subject, webinar. It's webinar invoice example. This is my
So we are simulating a situation where invoice is actually emailed in a PDF to us.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Invoice mistyping. Let's correct it. To settle and to pay. Okay. I will insert some example. Let's insert this invoice that is for services. Send it. Okay, done. So I'm going back to my web browser. And all process is backed by a bunch of cloud flows. So first cloud flow that is going to be invoked is analyze invoice, and that is happening right now. So I will show you our dashboard and refresh it. After all recognitions that are performed, we can click all documents and see that there is a queue of a few documents and with status, and you can see what type it is, because our mailroom also contains a mechanism to recognize other documents like for example delivery notes or other documents. So if you want to uh, observe observe what is going on at the first place of the stack, you can see here. I here see that there is one new message. So this is my email, webinar invoice example. So I will click to go to my queue, and this line has status new. So I will click this functional button. And what we see, this is my example. So this is invoice that contains a few services like consulting services, document fee, printing services. It has purchase order. And what I am going to do is to point unit inside my company, and I'm going to check my requisitioner. So it will be Marek. Send to validation. As you can see, system tells me that OCR has started. You can see current status of the documents on this page on this column. So I will send another example. Let me do it quickly. pp dev, another example. For example, invoice, not that field, sorry, subject. For toys. Party. Well, let's do that way. Take that invoice. And let's insert another example, browse, and this is example with PR also. Send it, already done. Okay, so let's go to the dashboard. New messages 0, so I will go to my example, webinar invoice example, first example. Let's click on this functional button. And what we have here, we have very important that there is a bunch of metadata, key value data that were recognized automatically. So we have invoice number that is taken from here. That's correct. and we have here mechanism of traffic lights. So if I found this red field marked, I'm 100% sure that I have to check if there is a vendor tax ID or not. I guess there is not. So I will simply put none. And let's see other tax. That's correct. Total, yes, of course. Requisitioner Marek Gallert, and let's see purchase order. Yeah, this is purchase order 35. Let's zoom it. 3531. Yeah, that's correct. And all this metadata, I'm going to click and submit for approval. This will be pre-approval. This is a situation that our user wants to see this document before it is going to be posted in Dynamics 365. So I am the same person, so you can see validation and quality data is done. We have optional pre-approval here, so I can approve here, or I can go to my email and I have this message. First of all, I have link. I can click simply, and I'm going next to see all this metadata in the document Office application. And here we have a message from our clerk. You have an invoice associated to order for pre-approval. After approval, it will be transferred to accounting in Dynamics 365. And here you can put all data you can find in documents, or your clerk can also write some notes to simply remind you about your documents and any cases in terms of purchase order. So I will approve here.
Marcin, I have one question to you.
Sure.
This message, which was sent from Power Platform to your Outlook box, can be easily modified, yes? So if I need also some additional information, for example, about the ID of the vendor or name of the vendor in this description, you can also put it here, yes?
Yes, that is
If it
correct.
is recognized. Okay, thanks.
This is correct. You can put everything you want to be in here. So after all, you can also put all metadata from your headers, for example. But I will click and I will go to strictly to this documents browser, and I can see it all like it was sent to clerks. But back to our approval, it's okay. Submit. This is dynamic message, so it will of course change if you do your action. So you can see here clearly what it was submitted and my comments. Okay, so back to the dashboard. We can see another new message. So yes, I have new document example. So I will click, simple as that. Marek, send to validation, and back to the dashboard, to the all documents. And as you can see, we have pre-approved. So it can be done by automatically by Power Automate to send it to Dynamics. But I wanted to show you do it manually, so I can see approvers' comments and other metadata. So I simply click Send to Dynamics, and over to you, Marek, because it is already sent to Dynamics D365, and I will, in meantime, do this second document to send to Dynamics 365 to see how we can automate first invoice, that is invoice service invoice, and second where there are items, and we can approach three-way matching in Dynamics 365. So over to you, Marek.
Okay, thanks. Can you see my screen, guys? Marcin, Kamil?
Yes.
Okay, so today we'll check this information which you get from the Power Platform on the testing environment. And today we'll focus on two types invoices, as Marcin said. So the first one relates to the purchase of the services. And in this case, we will run just the two-way matching to verify this invoice, because service invoice in my configuration doesn't need two-way matching because we don't have any product receipt. So two-way matching is enough. And on the other hand, the second invoice, which has stock items and also product receipt, and there will be run two-way matching. So we'll compare purchase order, product receipt, and finally invoice. Okay, so let's go to the accounts payable module, because we are transferring this data from Power Platform to the standard place in the Dynamics. So it is accounts payable and invoice tab, and we are focusing on the pending vendor invoices. And as you can see right now, we have two invoices which were already sent by Marcin. Maybe let's start from the second invoice. This is the invoice which has just two-way matching, so it is the service invoice. But first of all, right now we can see some basic information in this view also. So we have information about invoice, about the vendor ID, about the name, purchase order, which was also recognized based on the OCR, which is in Power Platform. So we also get this information. Let's go inside. Let's go to the details of this invoice. As you can see, Power Platform sends the invoice header information for sure, but also, and this is so much helpful, because transferring invoice header information or data eliminates error, human error that can occur when manually entering some information about the invoices. And in addition, with a large volume of invoices, this allows you to reduce the time spent on filling basic invoice data in the header and etc. As you can see, we are transferring from Power Platform to Dynamics also PDF of this invoice. And thanks to this, we can check the view of the invoice during the pending vendor invoice flow. Okay, so we can check some information which we have in our PDF and which we have already fulfilled automatically in invoice header. So as you can see, we have indicated automatically vendor account, vendor ID. We have information about the invoice number. We have information which is crucial for us in this case about the purchase order number. For sure, we have also some information about the dates. So we have invoice date, we have due date, which are also in this information in the header of the invoice. And what you can see, and what is also important for me, that we have also possibility to run free match status. So I mean two-way matching or free matching initially during the inserting the information about the pending vendor invoice. And as you can see here, we have information in the header that match status into this invoice is passed. But let's also focus on the lines of this invoice. As you can see, we have some information about the lines here. And we have also the related data in our pending vendor invoice in Dynamics. This data came from the purchase order. So here we have some here we can compare this data, this information, and as you can see, we don't have any differences between the view of the invoice and between the data in the Dynamics. For each line, we have also information about the matching. So in this column, we are focusing on the price match, and this is crucial for the service invoices. And for each line, we have past status and status for the quantity verification is not performed because, as I said, we don't have any information about the product receipt here. As you can see, we have also information about the purchase order for each line, and that's all. Let's go to the header of this invoice, because here we have also some information about the payment. As you can see, in the terms of payment, we have information that it is 13 days. In Dynamics, we call it net 40. And we have also due date based on this invoice. Okay, let's go back to the lines. Here we can also scroll down because this PDF is attached into Dynamics, so we can also use this to archive these PDFs also, and we can keep some information in here. We can zoom up and zoom down this PDF to easily recognize all fields in the invoice view. Let's compare totals on this invoice, and let's compare totals on our invoice in the Dynamics. So as you can see, we have net amount 100 USD and sales tax is 9.50, and invoice amount is almost 110. And as you can see, we have also these values here on the view of the invoice. So this invoice doesn't have any discrepancies, so we can easily pause this invoice. But for sure, for each type of the invoice, we can also run a workflow in Dynamics, because in the standard of the Dynamics, we have possibility to run workflows, which we can also build in the Dynamics. And this workflow can be related to the header of the invoice, so for the whole invoice, but we have also possibility to run workflow approval, something like that, for each line of the invoice separately. So we have some possibilities here, but in this case, as I said, we can just pause this invoice because we don't have any differences. We can also go to the review tab, and here we have matching details, so we can go to the details of this matching if it is necessary. In my opinion, it is much more helpful when we have some discrepancies, some differences. So here we can recognize what is the problem, and we can check some information in the product receipt, purchase order, and invoice values. As you can see, for these service items, we get automatically two-way matching in the line matching policy, so we don't have to switch it because it is easily configured in the Dynamics. In the price tab, we can compare unit price and price unit, net amount and net unit price, and for each line we have information, positive information that it is passed. We are not comparing quantity here, and we can also check some information about the totals, and it is also passed. So finally, in this invoice, in my opinion, it is just ready for posting, so we can finally post this invoice. Okay, it is the test testing environment, so let's check another invoice, and this invoice, as you can see, has some more information, because right now we have also information about the product receipt. Let's go inside. Let's zoom up this view of the invoice, and in this case it works quite similar. So we get some basic information in the header of the invoice. We have some information about the matching status. But in this case, we have also information about product receipt, which was already linked with this purchase order. And as you can see here, we are getting some information from the product receipt, not from the purchase order. So if we have some differences between the purchase order and the product receipt, in this case, in this type of the default form, we are getting information from the product receipt. Let's compare information which we have on the lines. And as you can see, let's zoom up this invoice. As you can see, in the first line, we have different quantity. So you can see that here we have quantity 20, because we are getting this information from the product receipt. So we are getting this information from the Dynamics. But on the preview, we can see that it should be 15. So in this case, I have to correct this value manually. Others line looks that they are correct. Yes, so let's fix this. Okay. Yes, I need to confirm. And right now, as you can see, we have some automatically change status for the FUE matching, because we have information that product received quantity for this line is failed. Yes, because on the purchase order and product received, we have 20, and on the invoice, we have 15. So I'm wondering that we should get another invoice to invoice the rest of this quantity. In this case, we can also go to the review and to the matching details. And here, as you can see, we get automatically policy if we are matching. And in the price tab, it is okay for each line. So everything is passed, and we are comparing invoice and purchase order. But if we go to the quantity tab, for other lines, it is passed because these values are the same. But for the first line, we have some status information that this is failed. That's why we should still have here workflow. Yes, and if we have any if we have any discrepancies on the invoice line, we should run workflow, and someone from the business or accounting should approve this or not. Yes, so we can approve this and run this and post this invoice into the books, or maybe we should return this invoice and wait for the proper one.
Okay, Marek, thank you very much for the presentation. So just to make a short summary, we presented the full process, starting with recognition, optical character recognition with help of artificial intelligence, going through short demo of the digital mailroom, and finally presenting how the invoices that finished the journey in Dynamics are being posted in either 2 or 3-way matching process. And right now we have still some 15 minutes left of the presentation, and there is a number of questions that our audience asked. So maybe we will come through the questions if you let me. I don't know if we'll be able to answer all of them. Let's have a look at this. Okay. Yes, the first question. I am not sure, but probably this is to Marcin.
Yes, this is first stage, so it is possible to create rules to assign requester automatically. Yes, that's why there is such thing like Power Automate. So if we have a bunch of data, for example, we can read something like PO or other data from invoice not related to header and lines, we can simply create a business rule to assign a requester automatically. Besides, we can use Dynamics as master data. So we can read all the data from PO that is stored inside Dynamics, and of course also create rules based on these informations.
Okay, and we have another question. Also, Marcin, this is for you. Definitely.
Yeah. Can be in invoice OCR process triggered automatically rather than manually sent to, and after recognition, then assigned unit, etc. This is this is a good question, and probably related to previous. So yes, we can, but for the purpose of this demo, today's demo, I was I had an idea to perform like that. So it can be 100 fully automated, even without this interface like paperless office, document office, like we like to say. So Power Automate can easily monitor constantly your inbox, and after this robot figure out that there is a PDF, it can automatically check if this is invoice to be processed and to be posted in Dynamics 365. So we can a lot of options here, from fully automated process to partly automated. All you can do, maybe not all you can do. Maybe you should before this process is deployed, um, analyze what suits to you best. If you want to have double check on this validation stage to make 100% that data, all data is correct, you can do it, or you can do without it.
Marcin, this is an interesting question. This is probably about the learning process of the OCR solution.
Yeah, as each vendor usually have their own invoice format, we would need to teach to read each vendor's invoice first, how easy that is and how long it takes to learn each separate invoice templates. Is there any limit on the formats templates you can store? The best thing about our demo today is that this model is template-less. So besides of templates, there is no teaching in this example, especially in English and other languages that I showed to you at the beginning of my demo presentation. So our cognitive service, Microsoft Cognitive Services and AI Builder capabilities are smart enough to recognize all invoices without templating. Of course, if you have very difficult and very unusual documents, you can teach your AI and you can build your own model. And this is very easy because simply you should feed your new model and point out all metadata. From perspective of user, it is only clicking key and its value, and then click on the end teach my new example. But this is templateless also because this is built on neural network, not template-based fixed examples.
Okay, thank you very much, Marcin. We have some more questions, but we are also running out of time soon. So there is one more thing worth mentioning to all the webinar participants. We have a special free of charge consultation option, and the company that will send us the most interesting or compelling business case that they want to run based on the paperless office idea will be granted with free of charge consulting in the area of using Power Platform with Dynamics, and well, in hope that the adoption of the platform will be more successful. So please think it over. Do you have any ideas that you would like to implement in your companies? And describe it, send it to us. There is a link, and we will be happy to choose one and work together with you to help you implement this idea. Okay, is there anything else you would like to mention? Maybe we can pick up one more, the last question to answer. Yeah, this is an interesting question. Let me show this.
This is also for me, I guess. The invoice is processed in Power Platform, Power Apps flows. Are we charged by Microsoft for each process invoice? for each processed page. And I guess a week ago, Microsoft released new, very attractive pricing list. So it is, I guess, some percent of one of cent per one page. If you are interested in some case study, if you have some, like Kamil said, interesting business cases, we can help you calculate which cognitive services or AI builder will be more to you, to your needs, because it depends on your business environment, how many documents you have, what type of documents there are they scanned or are they strictly exported from financial systems, so they are 100% electronic PDFs. It really depends, but I can tell you that today Microsoft has very attractive pay-as-you-go pricing list to perform OCR in your processes.
Okay, thank you, Marcin. Thank you, Marek. There are some questions left, but perhaps we will leave them for the next webinar. And thank you very much for participation. We will continue with other cases to show you how Power Platform could be utilized together with Dynamics for successful automation of the tasks within this digital mailroom. And should you have any questions, please contact us. We would be more than happy to answer. So thank you very much for participation, and see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. See you next time.